Hi everyone, I'm Rue, and I just got the best gift and I love it. I love this bear, it's the best. And I love other things too, like chocolate. And my family, even my brother, most of the time. Ugh, that kind of love is tough. I love a lot of things, but I don't love them all the same way. Now, God tells us to love others, so knowing what love means is really important. The news team is gonna get a huge example of what love is today in The Source. Let's watch and see what happens.
Hey, now I want you guys to lead the way in making that sub feel welcome, okay? Set an example for the rest of the students in the class.
Absolutely, Mr. Corbin.
Yeah, we'll be so good, the sub will write a tribute to us.
In all my years of school, I have never received anything less than a B, much less this horrid letter.
This is really good. Yeah, you definitely didn't deserve a C. This is an A paper.
Thanks, Mr. Corbin. What do I do?
I will talk to Mr. Dole. I'll see why he gave you that grade.
Stop the presses, I got a doozy of a story.
Did you figure out who Bouncy the Badger is?
No, no one knows who Bouncy the Badger is. That's a tightly guarded secret. Anyway, this news is better, way better.
Okay, what you got?
Well, I was standing on the hallway to see if I could sniff out a new story. Always full of stories. Anyway, I was standing like this. And all of a sudden, I heard Kayla Peterman crying in the hallway. Well, then I was like... I overheard her say that Mr. Dole gave her a D on her book report, even though she worked like really hard on it, you know?
It wasn't just me. Mr. Dole's doing this to other students too.
Hold on, Gabby. I know you. Don't say.
I need to do something.
I knew you were gonna say that. Just please make sure to do the right thing.
I am done trying to do the right thing.
That sentence. There's so much wrong with it.
This paper is about speaking up for the students. It's about being a voice for the voiceless. And the school needs to know that Mr. Dole is bad.
Okay, A, Principal Golden will freak out if she finds out you're writing that kind of stuff. And B, you know Mr. C will totally stop you.
But we have a chance to make this right. Bowie, I need you to get back out there and see how much you can dig up.
Trip Bentley's on the case. Name kind of fits.
I need to get started.
Just promise me no attack mode.
I only promise to speak the truth.
Oh, so I see you've made some progress.
4 students have received lower grades since Mr. Dole arrived. Kayla actually went down a whole letter grade. So she has been the smartest girl in school since I've been in school.
All right. You want some info? I got you some info.
What you got?
Well, students are saying that Mr. Dole likes to play favorites. You know, he gives the students he likes better grades, and then he's hard on the students he doesn't like, you know?
Okay, that's good, but we still need some actual proof.
I'm way ahead of you. In fact, the proof is in the pudding. And somewhere in Mr. Dole's pudding cup, we'll find what we're looking for.
I'm not even gonna ask where you found that.
Bowie, that is not what that saying means.
How do we know? We haven't checked the pudding.
What is going on here?
Mr. C, voice of reason.
Mr. Corbin, we have evidence that Mr. Dole's grading system is flawed.
Gabby, you're not going after Mr. Dole.
But look at this, Mr. Corbin. So many students have complained of unfair grading.
Are you doing this because you have a problem with Mr. Dole?
No. I'm doing this because I want to expose the truth.
Guys, is that what this paper is about?
This paper is about telling people about what's really going on.
And speaking up for the students without voices.
Okay. I should have done this from the beginning. Think about this. What's the best way to do that? What's the one thing that should drive everything we write and talk about?
I have no idea.
If you really want to make an impact, if you really want to make a change, the foundation needs to be love.
Love? Like Valentine's Day? Are we gonna do a Valentine's Day issue? Ew!
No, Valentine's Day was like 2 months ago, and that would be gross.
Yeah.
No, guys, not romantic love, a different kind of love. The kind of love that puts other people first, no matter who they are.
How do we make a paper about that?
Okay, I have a lunch appointment, but I'm gonna cancel it. When I get back, we're gonna refocus the paper, make it about what it should have been from the beginning.
Okay, Mr. Corbin, I still don't get how we can make this paper about love.
Okay, look at what happened with Mr. Dole. You hear something like he's being unfair, and it makes you want to get back at him and write an article about him, and momentarily, that may make you feel better. But what does that do to Mr. Dole?
I don't care. It gets the news out about Mr. Dole, and it gets people to read the paper. Win-win.
Right, but where's the love in that?
Love sounds boring, Mr. C.
Love is like a seed.
Are we gonna watch flowers grow, Mr. Corbin? 'Cause that just sounds like boring.
Yeah, very boring. And not much to look at, but when it blooms, it turns into this.
Wow, those flowers are so pretty. Makes my eyes dance.
I'm lost.
It may take some time and effort for a seed to grow into a flower. And it's the same way with your actions. The way you treat people plants a seed in their heart. See? Love forgives the people that hurt you. It helps you understand people that are different. Love gives even when it knows it's not going to get anything in return. You plant those kind of actions, and people can come alive, just like this flower.
So how do we do that with the paper?
Highlight stories about people that show what love in action is really like. For instance, did you know your fellow student, Marcus Tisdale, donated part of his musical instrument collection to the school?
Is that why the band is better?
I didn't even know he did that.
Yeah, you should do a story about him. Even better, write a positive story about someone you don't like.
You should do an interview with Mr. Dole and make him the front page.
That's a great idea, Trixie. Gabby, interview Mr. Dole.
Mr. Corbin, that's insane. I don't want to make Mr. Dole look good. I want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of your fellow students feel the same way. But what if we do an article highlighting some of the good things about Mr. Dole that nobody knows? And it changes the way people see him.
Or what if we write an article on you, Mr. Corbin? You are the best vice principal in the school.
I'm also the only vice principal in the school.
Okay, but seriously, we should do a highlight about all the things you've done this year.
I appreciate the praise, but no. I think you should write an article about Mr. Dole.
Fine, okay, I'll do it. But it's not gonna be easy.
Great. I have faith in you, and if you need help, I can iron out some of the rough edges, okay? Now, I really have to go.
Have you guys noticed how Mr. Corbin's always there for us?
Yeah, it's like he actually does the stuff he teaches us.
Hold up. He just snuck in another teaching lesson.
He's really getting good at that.
See? This is what I'm talking about, Gabby. This is really strong. Instead of writing about what a bad teacher Mr. Dole is, you highlighted good things he's done.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. He's actually pretty funny.
I work with him, and I didn't even know he was a stand-up comic.
You're really sure this is a better way?
Oh, yeah. I even like the title. Test with Jest. Getting to know Mr. Dole.
I still feel like we're letting him get away with things. Kids should know that he's unfair.
You don't know that for sure, okay? But you did discover something new about Mr. Dole. I mean, who knows? He may end up being your favorite teacher ever.
Don't get crazy.
No, it's really good. I would just make this one change. I would start with why he gave up being a stand-up comic to become a teacher, right? Now, I have to go make that change, and then would you please email the latest issue of the paper to the printer for me?
Will do.
Thank you.
Gabby, I just found something out. Where's Mr. Corbin?
He just left. What's up?
I was doing classroom cleanup and I overheard Mr. Dole talking with another student, and I think they were talking about Bowie.
What did Mr. Dole say about Bowie?
Well, it sounded like they were making fun of him.
That is not right. Mr. Dole is a teacher and he's breaking the teacher's code. I knew he was bad news.
Okay, just don't do anything yet, because I don't want Bowie to find out and get his feelings hurt, and we can tell Mr. Corbin tomorrow.
Yeah, good plan.
You want to get out of here?
Yeah, just in a second. I have to make a change to the paper and then I'm gonna email it to the printer.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Corbin, but people need to know the truth. Failing our students. Why Mr. Dole should not be a teacher.
Ugh, things were going so well, but Gabby might be getting into major trouble. We'll have to see what happens next week. I wish she would have chosen to show love and print the good article about Mr. Dole, but I also know it's tough to love someone you don't get along with. Like Mr. Corbin was saying, love means putting someone else first, no matter who they are. How does someone love like that? Well, there's one person who gave us the best example of love ever. His name is Jesus. We can read about him in the book of John in the Bible. Jesus is God's son. One night, Jesus was eating dinner with his friends, the disciples. Suddenly, Jesus went and grabbed some water and rags. He knelt down and started to wash the disciples' feet. Ugh. Back then, they walked around just about everywhere, so their feet were filthy. In some houses, there was a servant whose job it was to wash people's feet at dinner. It wasn't a great job, so when Jesus started washing their feet, all the disciples were probably super confused. Jesus washed the feet of his best friend John and John's brother James. And he washed the feet of Bartholomew and Thomas and all the others. Then Jesus came to one of his friends named Judas. Jesus knew something that none of the other disciples did. Not long before this, Judas had gone out and made plans with some people who hated Jesus. He'd agreed to help them arrest and hurt Jesus. He tried to keep it a secret, but Jesus knew. Think about that. Jesus knew Judas was planning to hurt him. How could you be super nice to someone who was super mean to you? Right then. I probably would have been like, no, not washing your feet. You're mean. But when Jesus came up to Judas, the friend who was now his enemy, Jesus knelt down and washed Judas's feet, just like all the others. So, when Jesus tells us to love others like he does, he doesn't leave anyone out. It's not like, okay, I love you, I love you, I love you, and not you, you're not nice, bye. The point is this: Jesus shows us what love is. It's not all about giving gifts and Valentine's Day cards and being cutesy. Jesus showed us that real love means doing what's good for someone, no matter who they are. Love means putting someone first, even if the person isn't your friend. When we show love like that, we're following Jesus' example. Next week, we'll find out what happens to the Source team. Bye guys, I'll see you guys next week.